If you are only listening for the podcast intro, please stick around for a couple minutes longer. Abdu has a DSA PSA. What the heck? Where'd you go? Warning, the following is intended for immature adult audiences. Please do not attempt any of the stunts or activities mentioned in this podcast, future podcasts, or previous podcasts. Isaac Howard, Hobie Baker winner. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. What's up, Beer League hockey fans and fellow dumpers? Welcome to another unedited, unfiltered, worldwide Dump and Skate podcast. The number one Beer League hockey podcast in the Bluffton, Hilton Head area, Pooler, Georgia area, and Aurora, Oswego, and Naperville, Illinois area. The countries of Israel, Canada, Colombia, Bosnia, and Saudi Arabia. I'm the podcast scheduler, social media content creator, official video and audio editor, the broken, old, and decrepit bender, the infamous ball buster, the one who doesn't lose sleep if you don't like me. Shout out Captain Butt Love. Nothing but love. I'm the podcast graphic designer and merch creator. I am the admin's bitch and sounding board. Jeremy, guess whose butt hair I had on my tricep? Abdu. With me as always, the man that makes this podcast possible, the only producer that doesn't do any editing, the talent of the podcast, but not on the ice, the most loyal friend and brother that will always have your back, on and off the ice, the team dad, the one I used to nag about uploading podcasts, but now I have to nag about doing podcasts. Jeremy, guess whose tricep I left my butt hair on? Holland.
Who's Captain Buttlove? How did that one caught me off guard?
Really quick.
You probably have to just tell the story, I guess, whatever that's from.
The very last game of the season, I played in a consolation game. One of the captains came into the locker room and said, you know what, Jeremy, I don't like you one bit. And I told him, honestly, I'm not going to lose sleep if you like me or if you don't like me. Then at the end of that whole conversation, he goes, you know, I got nothing but love for you. And I go, yeah, like butt love or nothing but love. And so really quick, I'd like to just get this out and then we can go with the podcast. I have a DAS PSA, a dump and skate public service announcement.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
To the Savannah Junior Ghost Pirates community. Over the weekend, I had a conversation, which was meant to be a joke, with two people that was overheard. After, I tried to sell the fib. I told the individuals I had the conversation with immediately that I was joking, and they called my bluff, and they said they didn't buy it one bit. However, some of that was not heard by the conversation and spread like wildfire. First, I would like to apologize to anyone that was affected by this poor timing of a joke. I would like to apologize to the families that was affected by this. I would also like to apologize to my teammates for what was supposed to be a fun weekend, turning into a bit of a pickle for them. Most importantly, I would like to apologize to Coach Rossi and his coaching staff. What was supposed to be a fun hockey tryout weekend, I understand that you had enough stress with the emails, making teams, and I'm sorry for what you walked into Sunday morning. With all of that said, I want it made clear that the Civic Center is not getting demolished in August or September of 2025. Thank you. I will be taking questions.
Jeez Louise. That didn't need to be that long. That was ridiculous. Holy crap. Well, that's probably the longest intro you've ever done in your life.
Well, look, I wanted to get that out of the way because I figured you would start rolling and talking.
Yeah, and then you'll never get in word.
Never get it out. So now that we got it out, let's go with it.
Let's move forward. All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? Welcome in to your favorite beer league podcast, the one and only worldwide Dump and Skate podcast. We are super excited to be back with you. Yes, we did just get back from a weekend filled with hockey. My kid was trying out. We brought down some of the guys, had a nice 2 days worth of scrimmages, a lot of fun, and it was an invite-only type deal. So if you didn't get an invite, because we didn't invite you, it's probably for good reason, probably because you suck or we just don't like you very much. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just kidding. It's probably not for those reasons. We just invited people that, we know and wanted to play and things like that. So if you didn't get an invite, it probably wasn't anything personal, but it might have been something personal. So, take it however you want to take it. We had a good weekend. It was a lot of fun. Abdu did stick his foot in his mouth pretty good there, all in the name of humor, but appreciate the apology, and we'll go on a social media campaign and make sure that everyone's well aware that Abdu cannot be trusted, nor can the words that come from his mouth be trusted. So we'll rectify everything. It'll be okay. We'll get it all squared away. So,
but for real, when I do say I'm joking and it was a joke,
it usually means it's a joke. Yeah, you shouldn't take those seriously. Yeah. So I am also Captain Hot Dog Butt Cheeks. That's me. Hot Dog Bun Butt Cheeks. That is me. That's probably going to get wildly misinterpreted on this one. That's good. We'll give you the willies.
It is.
Let's get right into it.
How I got bullied.
How fun weekend, right? Really fun weekend. We had a good time.
It was a blast.
But we talked, and you said that it was probably the most traumatic couple of hours for our first skate. You said you had more fun first skate, but the
on
second
the
skate
ice,
was fun too.
on the ice, not in the locker room.
Yeah. So let's back up here a little bit.
All right, let's do
it. So Friday, you and I were texting back and forth. Yeah. And we had a list of guys. We were trying to divvy up teams, and you were trying to get head counts. And we were both busy because both of us were only working about a half a day and trying to break out of town after that to get down to Jacksonville a little early so that we could kind of get settled before we went and skated and everything. And all of this kind of got planned around several of the guys that were going to skate with us are coaches. They were already going to be down in Jacksonville because the Junior Ghost Pirate tryouts for the 8U all the way up to the 16Us were all happening this weekend. So we decided, hey, let's get a couple hours of ice time Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and let's bring down some of our buddies and let's just have a kind of a private, hour-long skate, get 20, 25 guys together, just have a good time. And so we put it out there, invited some people, had to kind of modify who we were inviting, got enough guys down there we felt like to go have a good time. So Friday afternoon, you and I were looking over the list, and we were trying to divvy up the teams. We have a group of guys that are going to be going to Chicago, which, all is behind you, everything we've talked about for a good bit, the Chicago tourney. So we wanted to kind of play with those 6 to 8 guys pushed together. And so we kind of already had one team sort of put together. So we kind of looked at the other team, put 6 to 8 guys there, and then we're trying to kind of land the last few guys where they land. And I said, hey, put it together. And you said, all right, I'll send stuff out to this. I said, don't send it to anybody. Somebody's going to get mad about somebody being on the roster or somebody being on the wrong roster. I said, just don't send it to anybody. We're good. You said, fine. I said, print 2 pieces of paper. We'll stick them in the locker room, and we'll just tell guys when they get there, go to the locker room 6 or 8. You'll see your name on there. We're rolling. Friday at like 10 a.m., I'm trying to hustle from one job to another. You fire off a text to the core 4, which is you, me, Rob, and Pete. And it says, hey, here's the rosters for that weekend. And immediately, exactly what I was dreading happened.
No, I was in traffic. Sorry. Oops.
That's right. You were in traffic.
I was in traffic
so
on the way there.
You got bored, and you were like, this will cure the boredom. Let me start some crap.
Well, here's the other thing. When you said not to send it to anybody, I was under the understanding, like, don't send it to everybody. I thought sending it to the core 4 would be acceptable. And when I did send it to the core 4, as I'm stuck in traffic, it went from just, hey guys, here's the roster, to message. So that was
followed by phone call.
Yeah. And so
so Pete very quickly started to voice his opinion about people he wanted to move around from one roster to another. And I understood what he was asking. I understood why he was asking to move guys around. I had no issues with what he was asking, but I had put people in certain places to try to make the rosters even. And we had said all along, hey, look, we'll do this tonight, but we might flip-flop night number 2 or day number 2. It's not that big a deal. Now, again, to Pete's point, something I hadn't really thought real hard about was Pete was only going to skate with us one day. So what he was requesting, if it didn't work out, we weren't going to get an opportunity to do over. And full disclosure, it worked out just fine once we made the moves. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
It is hard to keep in mind Pete's feelings when it comes to hockey, when you're making teams.
Well, I don't. Is that a shot at Pete? I feel like it's a shot at Pete. Sorry, I'm not taking shots at Pete.
I was taking a shot at you because you made the team.
I did. No, that is true. I said blame it on me.
You made the teams.
That's right. I did.
That's why I made it. That's why I made the shot.
There you go. So I was not thinking so much that any of the guys we knew would have any issues. I was thinking more that somebody else might be like, well, why is this person here? Or why is this person here? And all. And again, like I said, Pete's opinions were all valid. I had no issues with what he was saying, and it worked out perfectly fine. We moved a couple people around. We had to make a mid drive or mid travel invite. Everything got squared away. Teams were very even. A lot of fun to skate, right? So, but I called you and started fussing at you, and I was like, "This is exactly what I said. Don't send." You were like, "Well, I thought it was okay to send it to these guys." I was like, "No, we shouldn't have sent it to anybody. We should have just figured it out once we got there. If somebody didn't like something, we could have moved it then." So I was really irritated.
I'm glad we moved it before then instead of in the locker room
and
trying to collect money. Thank you for helping out with that. Thank you for helping out with that. But for the listeners that didn't play, this is just a for fun skate. There was no trophy. There was no referees. It was just a pickup game. So I was like, I thought, like, regardless of the roster, it would be fine. I'm like, I wasn't really considering. I didn't really care like who was on the roster. I was just glad that one, I got to see everybody again, and that we were just playing hockey.
You and I, there were 7 to 8 guys we knew needed to play together.
100, yes.
We were going to be going to Chicago together, right? And so filling out the last little bit, I was trying to keep pockets of guys together, and there were a pair of guys that Pete wanted to skate with that I completely understood, but it started to make our numbers look a little goofy, and so it was an easy fix. We found an easy fix, made a move. It all worked out perfectly fine, and so
you know what else? What else worked out good? How great is it that we actually had 3 goalies originally? And then only 2 of them showed up. Could you imagine if we
awesome.
thought, from now on, when it comes to skates like this, we got to do 3 just in case someone does not show up.
Well, there was actually another goalie down there that almost brought his gear, and we would have been able to plump him on the ice and skate. But his kid was trying out, and he's not been in the loop with us on other things. And so he said he left all of his gear at home because he didn't want his son to think like, hey, you just you just had me try out or encouraged me to try out so that you can come down and skate or anything. I was like, hey, I get it. And he said he would have, liked to be able to skate and stuff, but he wasn't mad. We didn't invite him or anything. We didn't have a clue that he was coming type deal. So it was no big deal, but we had an alternate kind of hanging in the wings if we, got really desperate.
Yeah. I think everything worked out perfectly. Locker room, ice time, goalies, and it was a fun skate. And I'm telling you, the more and more we do these skates, they just are more and more fun each time. I mean, this was like
Tom McNamara said,
I was just going to say
season skate. Yeah, he said the end of season skate and these skates, he said, were the most fun he's done. He said I like these more than I like rec league skates. He was like, some guys take the rec league stuff just so seriously. He's like, this is fun. Just guys that and what it is, and again, if you listen to this and you're like, why didn't I get an invite? Look, it's not a personal dig at you, like you're not good enough or whatever, but like we've got guys that we know really well and we get along with really well, and we know that they don't mess up the chemistry of just going out and having a good time. We can laugh about stuff, right? It's not super serious. We may not know you well, and you may fit that chemistry, and we may know you. We just may not know that about you, right? So take it personally, don't take it personally. Personally, I don't care. We invited guys though that we knew would be a good time and be fun and wouldn't be too serious about this, and it worked. We did what we do very well, and all the guys there had a really good time. I think one guy is still confused as to what time zone he's in, but everything else other than that was really good.
It's everyone that supports the podcast. So the more people that support the podcast, you may or may not get an invite. So just start listening.
Yeah.
pass on the word of our podcast.
There you
go. But
so now back to the original point.
Oh yeah.
Which is, hey, Abdu's day. Was there something that happened before we got in the locker room? I feel like there was something that happened in the locker room.
Yeah, you took a dump in the locker room.
Okay, calm down. That would have happened before we got in the locker room, and it wasn't even. You didn't even know that.
I did,
don't even go there. Don't even go there, because Rob walked in the 2 seconds after I flushed the toilet and starts making a big deal out of it. Oh my gosh, like, well, it smells like poop because somebody pooped in there. Rob, calm down. But it didn't drift out in the locker room and try to murder us all like last time. Okay, so see, just relax with your taking a poop. Everybody poops. It's a book. Go buy it.
Not everybody.
Well, you should. You should be. So we get in the locker room.
Just a reunion of the Savannah.
We've gone full on disclosure? No. Have we not gone full on disclosure of what
the heebie-jeebies?
What gives you the heebies?
No, and we will not. No,
okay.
Because we don't want other people to start.
Right. So Pete tosses you what gives you the heebie-jeebies, but says, "Hey, check." So I got some wax from our good friends at Whiskey Wax. They sent me a couple more tins. There, I'm gonna mess this up, and we're not doing a full read for them right this second. But they're super sticky wax. They sent to me, and then they also sent me just their protecting wax. So I've never really used like really tacky wax. I used it and was waxing it up. Pass it to you. Pass a couple other guys in the locker room, and smells really good. Worked really well. It was really neat. I enjoyed it a lot. So we'll do a shout out for them on a different podcast. But and so Pete comes in the locker room and goes, "Hey, Abdu, check out this wax," and tosses you the thing that shall not be named, to which, did you catch it?
Caught it, threw it down. Like it went like this, hit my hand. I could have gloved it, but when I saw everything, I went like that, and then just kept it by your bag, and I am just scrubbing my hand. I went to the front desk, got hand sanitizer. I drove from Jacksonville all the way back to Chicago to talk to my friend that's a nurse and asked her to do the doctor. I need to do the doctor cleaning where that's like that orange soap that they do right before surgery. I came back from Chicago to Jacksonville and was able to suit up, and I'm still wiping my hand. I lost all the color in my face. I got pale.
You got really serious. You were like, "Guys, come on, seriously."
A
man can only take so much.
I went to the front desk and I said, "I need an AED." I was like, I need to know who. I need someone that's CPR certified. I'm not feeling too good right now. My teammates are a bunch of dicks. I did this sincere apology. I would like one from everybody that has affected me by that, and it's like it was so bad. Like I just fuck.
Great, man. Oh, man. All right. So
Yeah.
we get out there. We get everything. I think we get the scrimmage roll, and everything. It's good. It's a good time.
I felt so good, like hip wise, mobility wise.
You did
during warm-ups and like 2 shifts. Cooch is like, "All right, guys, let's go. I'm dead. I'm gassed. My lungs are on fire."
Rob comes up. We call everybody together, which I didn't understand why we were doing that anyway.
Had no
it's
idea.
Our skate. The teams were
What did
split
he
up.
say? Because I didn't even listen. I was shooting on top.
You were just skating. You were the only guy skating at the end. I started circling. He said, "Hey, let's skate for like 15 minutes and then maybe take like a 2-3 minute break, like pretend like it's a period type thing, right?" And so I was like, "All right, we can do that if you want to. That's fine." And so all the guys were like, okay. So we skate. I think we had maybe done like 4 total shifts. And Rob is at the end of the bench. Like, it looks like he's about to puke. And he's
Rob
going,
has the boost
"Take
energy.
a break. Take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break." And he's trying to like hang his hand over the boards. And I think they had just scored, or we had just scored or something. So we cycle back in. And he's like, "All right, break time." And they're like, "Forget that. Here they come again." They just come right up. And so for like 4 shifts in a row, Rob keeps telling them, like, "All right, break time. Let's take a break." Every time he gets off the ice, he's saying break. And then he starts pointing. I thought at Papadopoulos, and he was like, break. He needs a break. He looks
Oh,
like he
he's
needs the
playing the-
break. So I skated out to Pop and I said, Pop, do you need a break? He goes, I'm good. And I looked over to the bench and said, Rob, I said, goalie's good. We're going to roll. So we just kept right on skating. I think Rob was dying. Oh my gosh. It was hilarious.
It was like watching NASCAR and trying to stop the car. Hey, wait, kid, we need a break. I'm done. He's taking Boost Energy. Shout out to Boost Energy if you want to sponsor us. He's like, he's dying. My lungs are on fire. But I said you got to up your cardio, and everyone else was still buzzing and playing and everything like that.
I was tired. It was obvious I hadn't been on the ice in 3-4 weeks. Like I didn't quite have the jump. Second skate, I felt a lot better. And so, but the first skate, it was
felt better because we had an extra line out there too. So you had
we did have an extra group. So you had
I known Rob was that dead, we should have given him like the defense some extra players so he could sit
7
longer.
skaters, so Rob could sit for 5 minutes between each shift.
Yeah.
So yeah, we skate and everything goes really well, and then we get back in the locker room. Of course, again, locker room shenanigans, all that nonsense.
I just remembered what the other incident was.
What was the other incident?
Captain Mickey Ears made the comment.
Oh, yeah, that was a bummer. All right, so yeah, we'll have to just gloss that one, I guess.
Gloss.
So I don't know how to gloss it. Whatever. So we get back in the locker room. I realized I forgot my towel. Jump in the shower, dry it off with one of the extra jerseys we bought that I'm pretty sure Sprints wore the next day. So shout out Sprints. I'm pretty sure you wore my freshly showered body towel. Jerseys.
Got hairs all over his.
He very well may have. They're like glue; they get stuck on you. So, come out. You and I had gotten dressed next to each other, so I was kind of half messing around, and I leaned over and was trying to like put my butt cheeks like right in your face or something.
Bare.
Little did I
Bare
know.
butt.
Yeah.
Bare.
Yeah. Completely naked, starting to get dressed after getting out of the shower. Little did I know, you must have like had your arm out or something. I don't know how I got wrapped around your arm like a hot dog bun.
You were trying to reenact the videos that I sent. That's what we all agreed.
Definitely
100%,
not
yes.
what was happening. Maybe trying to give the visual of that, but certainly not trying to reenact by any stretch of the imagination. And so definitely wrapped your forearm with the Holland
tricep.
With the Holland hot dog bun.
A little bit of hollandaise sauce on my arm.
and you got a couple of hairs hanging out.
Look, man,
Abdu,
not
notoriously hairless, all of a sudden it sprouted a couple of inch and a half
I had
black
my
hairs.
arm looked like if you watch the Chia Pet commercials, my arm grew hair that fast. I look at it and I go, what? Holland, there's hair on my arm. And you're like, oh yeah, there is one. I go, look at the longest one. You totally did not take that one off of me. That one is like, that's the first one that I saw. I didn't realize there was like 18 other ones on my arm. And you're just picking them off one by one. You didn't wipe it off. You're like picking it.
It was like
flicking it at my face. Flicking it at my face. Flick.
It was like
flick.
It was like
flick. And
like
then you
pulling
put it on my
cactus
face.
quills, like pulling cactus quills out of your arm. Yeah, it ooged you out pretty bad too, which I thought was really weird. Like I'm beginning to think that like a lot of stuff oogs you out.
I felt.
You did not.
I felt dingleberries.
People are gonna do. That's such a lie.
It was like I don't even have.
What a jerk!
It was like gum that was sitting out in the winter time, and it scratched me. I have a cut right here. I don't know if you could see it on camera. I have a cut. I drove back to Chicago. I drove back to Chicago to get a dingleberry tetanus shot.
So stupid.
Okay, there wasn't dingleberries.
Traumatizing butt cheek incident for you, right? It was rough.
Oh, and then your brother decides on the way there to just drive like a maniac, like.
He was like, that thing said we were 29 minutes from the rink. We're getting there in 28 minutes. Watch
28 minutes. And then, oh man, that car next to me wouldn't let me over. Well, because you were in the wrong lane to begin with. And he goes, whoa! And then we're just like, I felt the G-force in my face, pull it back. Maybe if you sat up like an adult that drives instead of someone in a lazy boy recliner, he would be able to see everything that's going on.
Oh my God.
And you and I both go, my God, like we want to get there to play. We made it this far. We want to get to the rink. And then as we're driving into the parking lot, he's like, "Do you want me to park over here?" Yeah, go park over there. Like and then
6 miles
by
from the front door,
bumps.
please.
Yeah.
Like there's no,
We'll take an Uber.
There's
to the
nobody.
rink.
There's nobody at the front. Go park at the front door. What are you doing?
Should I park here? Yeah, let's go.
The
Just
average
park way
age
back
in this
there.
truck. The average age in this truck is like 43. Let's park a little closer to the front door, buddy. What are we doing?
One
here?
of them has a bad hip, and his truck is so lifted. I need like a parachute just to get down out of that truck.
Shoot.
It's so high up.
Holy crap! So fun time, but a little bit traumatic for our friend Abdu.
Oh, it gets better. We're not even
you
done
got
yet.
You got a dart slung at you in the locker room from Dumbo that was a little below the belt.
Even Packer picked up on it and goes, "Dude, that was bad."
a little below the belt. Probably shouldn't have gone there with that, but
Below the belt, that was
at the toes. Yeah, that was down around the toes. So then we, you're gonna have to do this part. This has to do with my littlest kid. She's notoriously a terrible bathroom person. Like it's absolutely awful.
I'll try and do a Holland story. So I got to the Airbnb. I was the first one there. Then your brother showed up, and then we were just picking out rooms like it's a house in the real world. Like the first one there just picks a room. I said, "Hey, Chris, why don't you take the room over here and we can share the bathroom?" And I didn't want to do an upstairs because I don't want to have to do stairs because I have a bad hip. And then your brother's like, "All right, I'll do it." And then he found the room that I originally wanted upstairs. So he takes the upstairs room. So then your kids took the bathroom that I shared, or the bedroom that I shared the bathroom with. We get back from the game, and all the doors are locked. I wanted to take a shower. I wanted to go to the bathroom. I couldn't get into the to the bathroom. So I walk out and I go, "Sarah, Holland, I need you guys really quick just to talk to your kids to unlock the door," because I didn't know if they were in the bathroom or what. So you walk in, and what'd you do? You woke them. They were sleeping, right?
No. No, they were in the room. I think they were laying in the bed watching TV.
So then,
they were pretending to be asleep. They were not asleep.
So then you're like, "Hey, you guys share a bathroom."
Oh yeah, because it was we got done playing and we hung out at the bar till what 11?
No,
11?
right before Walmart closes. So
yeah, right around 11. Till right around 11.
Yeah.
So we got home at 11:30. So the girls might have been asleep. Yeah.
So then all the bathroom doors were locked, even the ones that I share with.
Yep.
Asked you to unlock it for me, and I didn't want to be rude if the girls were going to the bathroom, whatever. Walk into the bathroom after you unlock them, and I was going to go to the bathroom, and there is just Motor City Raceway tread marks in the toilet with pee in the toilet, and it was like doo-doo stains, porta potty feels.
Porta potty feels.
Well, I guess no one knows this about me. I don't like to poop in public places. I have a hard time pooping in public bathrooms. I can pee in one, that's fine, but just like pooping in one, I went to go pee, and there was, and I'm not just talking a little streak. It had like depth, thickness to it, with an unflushed pee that was in there, and I just hear, "Goodness gracious, Jasmine!"
Oh, you're outing her by name. We got all the we use all the nicknames for the guys we don't want to out. Here we are throwing my daughter under the bus.
And it was, I went right to my bedroom. I go, "Oh my God!" And you're like, "What? What's going on?" And then you just hear me yakking. And then your wife is like, who has a very sensitive stomach to when people are throwing up. Hashtag Nashville. Remember the chick in Nashville?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh my God, who's throwing up? Who's throwing up?" And then your brother's telling her, she's like, "Oh, that's so funny. Abdudu guy. Abdudu guy."
That's a whole nother layer there.
Oh, so that was like all within 3 hours.
Yeah, it was rough. It was so much fun and trauma all wrapped into a 3.5 hour window.
That was a lot of butt dookie going on, and hairs and other stuff. And
from 7 to 11, it was a pretty wild ride.
It was a rough one, yeah. But
It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions, some extreme highs and some extreme lows. So some context for my poor little youngest one, right? So you said you don't use the bathroom in public. So when she was little, so I don't know that we've talked a ton about my kids, all my kids and everything, but my wife and I fostered for a while, and we adopted our three youngest kids through the foster system. And Jasmine is our youngest one that we adopted. And so they had lived with us for about 4 years before we adopted them. So when Jasmine had been living with us for just maybe 6 months at the most, we had taken a big trip. And on the way back, she rode back with me. We went into a gas station bathroom. It had an auto flush toilet, and you listening can probably figure out exactly where this is going. She sat down as like a 3 or 4 year old onto the toilet. When you're little like that, a lot of times when you lean forward, the toilet senses and thinks you've gotten up, and so it auto flushes with you sitting on it. It's done it to me as an adult before, and it's a little surprising as an adult. Well, it freaked her out as a little kid, like wouldn't get back on the toilet, and so it developed a bit of a trauma for her where she still to this day, as a 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old, has a hard time using public restrooms, more so out of a fear for like, hey, that thing may try to like attack me while I'm sitting on it. Again, I think she's getting out of that a little bit, but it's really tough. So she only will use the bathroom in certain spots. However, she also is the hands down nastiest bathroom individual in my house. She poops like a full grown man. I'm being yelled at by my wife from upstairs who hears the conversation. And so 100% Abdu is not exaggerating too much.
I don't exaggerate.
Like it was
not
I'm
with
sure
Dinkle Bears. There's a lot of Dingle
really
Dookie.
grody.
Well, then can we just talk about in between that 7 to 11 bullying Abdu time frame, there was another certain somebody, I won't mention names, that just reeked of BO. And it was like pure smelling salt. It was pure smelling salt. Ready to play hockey. Let's get it on. And your brother and I we had a good laugh about that. Shout out to your brother Chris. So
We'll cover that another time.
all right.
Oh man! So on the ice, we had a little. God, no, I can't. So we had a little carryover. Carryover wasn't carryover. So a little bit of a grudge. Are we going to nickname this, or are we just going full on names?
Which one?
The Captain
Ross.
Gravy.
Oh, so shout out Brent Midwood, our goalie. He loves Young Gravy, the rapper Young Gravy. So should we just call this one?
That I feel like that's
I have
insulting.
the picture. I have the picture. Can I use it? Can I use the clip for this?
If
this
you want
bit
to,
right?
I feel like it's
an
insulting to Young Gravy.
What do we call this guy?
Big Gravy?
He's like Baby Huey, Baby Gravy. That sounds bad.
That's worse. Mashed potatoes and gravy? I don't know.
We'll come up with the nickname, but this is
we got to come up with it. Are we using the name, or are we going to use a nickname?
I say we just go full blown name.
All right, let's get after it.
Somewhere under there, Solera.
So apparently, a while back, our good buddy Pete had been spending some time with another good friend of ours, Rob, and the one and only Chris Solera works with and for Rob at Veterans Carriers and doing some special project stuff for him. And so it was some event that they were at. So Rob had a lot of the employees around. Pete was there as well. They had all been hanging out, having a good time, assuming drinking a little bit. And at one point, and I don't know all the details because I haven't really sat and tried to ask a bunch of questions about it, but basically Solera sounds like started telling Pete, like, hey, I could rock you on the ice. Like, I could totally flatten you. And Pete was like, hey, I mean, I can skate a lot better than you. I don't think you could catch me to hit me.
We have an A-League player and a C-League player. Probably learn to skate player. For our listeners, you decide which one Pete is, all right?
Yeah. So apparently it went on for a good 45 minutes where
it went on. And
Solera was explaining in depth and detail and with tremendous passion that he felt like he could totally 100% just absolutely rock Pete's world. And so Pete, I think kind of laughed it off at first, and then after listening to it for 45 minutes, finally said, "Hey, look, here's the deal. Like, you're going to find out. No, you in fact cannot. That's fine." And so Pete made it abundantly clear, hey, when we go to Jacksonville, Solera is going to come because he's going to come down and skate. We will not play on the same team, and I will put him on the ground.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Right.
That's what
So
you call him, Donkey Kong.
That's fine. Donkey gravy, Donkey Kong gravy.
Oh, donkey gravy sounds just as bad.
That's really
Any
bad.
kind of gravy. Well,
Yeah.
we're leading up to why we're using the term
we'll
gravy.
get there. So, anyways, first game was the only one Pete was going to play in. It wasn't. Pete hadn't taken 3 shifts, right? Loose puck coming up the boards, and I don't even know if Pete had it on his stick. I think Pete had it,
Yeah.
and I think that he let Solera kind of step to him, and the next thing you know is there is a massive collision. I don't know if Solera yard sailed or anything, but he was definitely on his back, and it seemed fairly obvious that he was not 100% sure where he was at or what sport he was playing at that moment. And so he then spent the entire rest of the pickup trying to lay a hit on Pete, with which Pete continually ducked and dodged Solera because he can't hit a moving target because he can't keep his feet underneath him. So,
he was counting birds for a little bit too. Like
after the hit, it took a good 7, 8, 10 minutes before I saw him back on the ice. So I don't know if he was having to retie his skates or like remember his own name. I don't know. Like it was, but it was definitely, it was really funny. I didn't even get a full look at the hit, and I was on the ice when it happened. So, but apparently from the bench, it looked pretty incredible. And we had the live barn of it. And even the live barn,
it's a little bit
blurry.
blurry.
We'll have to try see if we can't get a better run of it. But anyway, so yeah, that was funny. Well, it carried over into night 2, and I really don't know how this got even kind of a part of it. But Perino came down. Reno came and skated the second day, and he did the same thing. So 3-4 shifts in, just absolutely rocked Solera again. And it was the same result. Solera was on the ice floundering around. And I was like, guys, we're going to kill the guy. Like, you got to stop doing this. This is bananas. To my knowledge, Solera has never said anything about Reno. I don't know if they just got to giving each other a little bit of crap back and forth. And Reno was like, all right, fine, I'll hit him. I don't know if Reno heard about him saying stuff about, that he could hit Pete.
Right.
Reno just felt like he could do it too. Who knows? So Solera, again, after another, 8 to 10 minute figure out where I am and who I am again break, was back on the ice and diving and lunging at Reno trying to hit him. But once again, this is the thing I don't get. And again, Solera's a nice guy. This is not a knock on Solera, but we've had these conversations before about guys who are like, oh yeah, I could totally do X, Y, and Z. Like, come on, guys. Seriously, pay attention a little bit here. Like, if your feet are flailing all over the place and you have a hard time getting a loose puck, and handling the puck and skating around with the puck in the C League, please don't think that you're going to be able to hit a player like Pete that played collegiate Division III hockey, or a player like Reno that grew up playing juniors and just got finished with a season of playing club Division III collegiate hockey. Like, I know those may not be the most impressive stats or anything, but you're a C League, beer league men's player. Please don't walk around telling guys you can run them. It's just not a good idea. You can't. You cannot. You are not on the same level as them. If you were, you would be playing in the same leagues as them during the season. You're not. You're not in the league you are because we got full at the top level. If you belong there, you would have been drafted there. You're where you're at because that's where you belong. Please, unless you just really like losing consciousness for 15-minute spans of your life, stop telling people that are better than you, that have played full contact hockey, that you can hit them and rock them when you in fact cannot. It's just a bad idea. It's just a really, 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 really bad idea. So please don't do that. So, geez, we get done with that. We get done with the second skate. I brought all of the little all-star jerseys we use now. So I collect them all in our room, and I looked at you. I was like, hey, I'm going to run over to the other team.
Right.
Locker room and grab the jersey. Do you have the picture handy where you can throw it
I'm
up?
gonna
phone?
try and share it with. I actually saved it on my computer while you were talking, so
All right,
I'm
you
gonna
want to see if you can try to put it on the background?
Yeah,
Or you
do I
can
do
send
share
it as a
screen?
shared. Well, I don't think you do share screen. Well, try that. You have the present button or something on there on yours?
Sharing screen. I don't think the share screen is. I'll just
You see if you can present it. Do you have the present button listed anywhere?
I do have a present. Yes, I do.
Do that and see if you can present a photo. If it does, it should jump to me and I'll have to approve it and bring it on screen, but that's fine. I think I can do that. So anyways, I goes to pick up the jerseys from the other locker room. There it is. When I get to that locker room, all of a sudden I pick up a jersey and realize, like, what the heck is like, what's going on here? I thought that some self tanner came off on somebody's jersey, and you can see my facial reaction there based on what's going on. And
Look at the collar.
it's the collar and all, and the picture doesn't do it justice. It's
It does
here at the
not.
house. I'll take another picture and send it to you. But
All right, please do.
it was all over the front of the collar, like where your chin would go at. And I told you, I was like, I swear it looks like self tanner or something, and you said it looked like gravy.
I said he's so big he sweats gravy.
So we got post game. We went to the little restaurant bar there in the thing, and I asked him. I said, "Do you use a lot of self tanner or something?"
Oh, boy.
And he goes, "No. I don't even, what are you talking about?" I said, "Dude, look at this picture from the jersey you were in." "Oh, that was on my jersey." I said, "Yes, it was. You were wearing 97. It was 100% yours." So what the heck is this? And he goes, "Oh, this is my cage. It's a rust from my cage." I said,
Brand new cage.
No, man. I said, one of the Lindsay Sprints that played with us looked at it. She goes, "Looks like a bunch of makeup came off of somebody's face." So I was like, "What the heck?" So
His foundation.
I don't know. So, dude, it was wild. It
And
was
I just go, he's so big. I said, that's a
true.
true meaning. He is so big. He sweats gravy.
Yeah. So it was. It was definitely. Yeah. That was wild.
I'll make a post of that one too. That was again, it was a lot of fun. Fun.
We gave Pack a bunch of crap for playing defense, but not playing defense. I think every shift, Pack figured out a way to get behind the goal that we were trying to shoot at, while leaving the other defender hung out to dry as a 3-on-1 went the opposite direction. So during the second scrimmage, I started yelling at Pack about that, to which Pack then responded by scoring a really nice goal.
Really nice goal. And he's like, and that's how it's done. Go ahead and switch. Can we talk about what I did to Pack, which was very anticlimactic too?
Yeah, so Pack got you pretty good with the substance that shall not be named. I think we described that prank on a previous podcast, but he got you during men's league, having a full-blown conversation, wearing the substance that shall not be named as a unicorn. On forehead. So you decide. So Pack was going to stay with us. So you stayed with us night one. Pack was going to come crash with us night one, and then night two you were going to bounce to some friend's house, and Pack was going to take over your room and sleep in your bed. So you came up with a great idea to get him back.
I was so proud of this. I thought about it on the actual way down to Jacksonville. The first time I was driving down to Jacksonville, not from when I had to go back to Chicago to get my hands sanitized from the other stuff. But I thought about it, like, this is perfect. So I said, Pack, you can have my bed. You can have the room that I was sleeping in. But as I'm driving down there, I'm like, I want a short sheet Pack's bed. Now, a short sheet is when you make the sheet look like a bedspread, but you fold it in half. So when they get in the bed, when they try to slide their feet in, it only goes in halfway. I was so proud of this. I made the bed for him. I even FaceTimed you and I go, "Hey, Harlan, I'm so happy." I short sheeted his bed. I even made a video of it that I'm going to post today or maybe tomorrow of it and everything like that. I was so proud of it. And I showed people. I'm like, "Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one." And then.
Wait a minute. To be fair, I didn't say, "Oh, that's a great one." I just go, "All right, cool."
Well, some other people liked it, right? So then I even
showed your mom.
No, I actually asked my sisters, Carol. Yeah, you are. Shut up. Carol and Patty. They're the ones that introduced me to what short sheeting a bed is. They used to do it to people, and so I called them. I asked them how to do that, and they showed me. But then Pack gets in the bed, but he didn't get home till like 2 a.m. You said, and he just crashed in the bed. I was expecting a text in the morning like, "F you, Abdu. Oh, you got me good." Not a thing. I even text you at like 9 o'clock as I'm driving. "Hey, did Pack say anything?" "Nope." "Is he still there?" "Nope." All right, I was so bummed out about it. It wasn't nothing. Like I was even thinking.
Wait a minute. Every prank you tried to pull this weekend blew up in your face.
Backfired.
This is the failed.
I wish
this will forever be known as the failed prank weekend for you.
Yes, like I wish the people that overheard what I was talking to Lindsay and Zach about overheard me showing the video that I did to Packard. I'd rather have them tell Packard, "Hey, Abdu tried to short sheet your bed," you know. Operation Diarrhea of the Mouth here.
So
just go tell everybody. And the people that did blab, I didn't know who they were. I didn't, and I swear to you, Rossi,
I you didn't know they were.
Told them I told the whole table, I said, I'm just kidding. I didn't know they were part of whatever. So I tried calling you. I'm sorry. Please don't do. We'll just call it, please don't Operation Substance Abuse me. Don't throw the substance at me anymore. We made a truce in the locker room. And you said you had, quote, you crossed your fingers, if you will, that you were for the truce. But please.
You're so worried.
I am.
Worried about this.
Well, even Pepper, every time he sees me, like we were at the bar and he had he bought a couple of sock tape, and then every time he sees me, he reaches in his pocket and goes like this to me, throws it to me. I hate when he does that, and then he just laughs like, Pepper, you're
so if you see us out in public, if you're listening in Chicago and you see us, make sure to just bring objects, put them in your pocket, and go, "Hey, Abdu," and toss them to him, and just watch his reaction.
Well, you don't even know. It's like that when you do the cup of cheese, when you fart in your hand and you throw it in someone's face, the cup of cheese, like, you know.
This is going to be like those graduation videos where every student that graduates walks by and hands like the professor or whoever, like a cricket or like a bouncy ball or whatever. People are going to be walking by us all weekend in Chicago, tossing you things, and you're going to be going, "Oh," and trying to dodge them the whole weekend.
Could you imagine, like how the, people throw rats at Brad Marchand during the games? If people just threw that, if they found out what it was, I would quit. Like, this is why we don't mention what it is on the.
I'll never play hockey ever again.
As soon as it starts happening, get my hip replacement tomorrow. I'm not playing anymore.
You'll be calling Kelly, "Hey, I'm moving to Colorado. You need a roommate. I got to get out of this area over here."
I'll just go to Alaska.
Go into witness protection.
Oh yes, changing my name. I'm faking my death. Oh God, this is giving the heat.
So the funny thing about the Packard short sheet. No, the Packard short sheet thing was when you told me you I don't think you told me you were going to do it. I think that you called me the morning of, and you were like, you were all wound up. You were like, "Oh, look at this! I've short sheeted his bed. It's so good." You sent me the video of like you doing it and like all the music playing or whatever, the social media post you made and all. And I thought to myself, I was like, I mean, that's a neat prank and all, but I don't think it's going to get Pack. Because Pack's not the type of guy that comes in at like 8 p.m. and is like, "Okay, guys, I'm going to wind down and go get in my bed." You're like, "Oh, you got me." Pack is the guy that rolls into bed at like 2 a.m, is flat, like half awake, and just, it wouldn't shock me if Pack just laid on top of the covers, everything, and slept, right? So I thought like, hey, I don't know that it's really, like, this might not be the prank to get him, right? So he gets up this morning, and he comes into the kitchen, and we're doing breakfast and all. He's dressed and ready to go, and because he had to get to the rink before us for the first kids practice and everything. And so I look at him and I go, "Hey, did you got in the bed and everything last night?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Did you have any problems with your sheets?" He was like, "Yeah, no, I had to throw them off in the middle of the night because I got hot." And I said, "It's not what I'm asking." I said, "When you got in the bed, did you have a hard time getting in the sheets?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, look. Abdu short sheeted your bed. He took the top sheet and folded it in half so that when you got in, your legs should only go halfway." And he goes, "Yeah, no, I think now that you mention it, yeah, maybe that did do that. I think it did do that." Oh, yeah. And I thought, I don't think any of this got it. So I told you, Sarah and I were walking through the house and doing sweeps of the rooms, make sure we didn't forget anything. And I walked in there, and where you had folded the sheets over, it looked like the top had just been folded completely flat. And I think Pack just climbed in, grabbed and shoved his feet in there, and just everything folded out of the way. And he just threw comforter back over him, and then threw it off in the middle of the night. So I think Pac literally had no idea anything was different. And that was my whole fear. I was like, I don't think it's going to work because I don't think he's that type of guy. And so, yeah, very anticlimactic. You were like, I wish we could have a camera in here. I was like, I don't think you like what the camera would show you because it probably wouldn't show you much of anything. So, yeah, it was a bummer. So that prank failed. The other prank you couldn't even hold on to, and it blew up in your face because it boomeranged back on top of you and got you in trouble. So, and now you were forced to give a public apology. So, way to go. That was awesome. This is the failed weekend of pranks by Jeremy Abdu.
Abdu letdown.
The Abdu prank weekend. Yeah, the funny part is my poor child that got you with the toilet etiquette also gave you a nickname this weekend of Abdudu, which is rather ironic
so original.
And comical.
Never heard that one before. 49 years old, never heard that one before.
It's not that it's original or not, it's that it's ironic that she's the one that called you Abdudu.
She gave me the Dump and Doo-Doo Skate podcast. God.
Oh,
and then you even go like, there are times where she'll do a forearm duty. I'm like, there's no way. No way.
There he is.
Unbelievable.
100%. Yeah, she's wild. Oh, she's funny. I got no answer, my guy. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man. Well, it was a good weekend. I had a lot of fun.
Better get a colonoscopy and make sure everything's good in there.
She's good. Yeah, it was a really fun weekend. I brought the whole family down. I had rented another house that had a little pool.
It was your birthday weekend. Happy birthday, my guy.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Did you have another good birthday weekend like last year? Last year?
You're the only guy that told me all weekend long. I can't even believe it. It's so ridiculous. Every year I plan my own trip and no one tells me.
You bring the whole family.
Anyways.
It's so nice of you to bring the whole family on your birthday. To an Airbnb.
Oh,
it was like Alcatraz. Locked like Alcatraz.
Calm down. It wasn't
the garage door.
The house was really neat, but it was kind of weird that we had so many doors that were locked. And again, I just wish they would have advertised better. Like, hey, there's not a lot of closets that are unlocked, so you're gonna have to live out of your suitcase. So there was an internal ballot. There was an internal. Okay, so I did find a note in the book that said you have to light the grill with a lighter, but there's no lighter anywhere to be found at the house.
The lighter's in the closet that's locked.
We keep it in the garage. Sorry, we locked the garage. Screw you guys. Oh man, so no, it was a good time. Beds were super comfortable. The rooms were nice. I did like that. Yeah.
You said yours was hot. Mine wasn't. I did not have
every room. I felt like every room was kind of warm. I think everybody kind of felt like the rooms were a little bit warm. You said you were. Did you say you were hot or cold? Or you were good?
I was fine, but the fan
made a bunch of noise. You said
loud. Yeah. I thought it was like a 747 taking off.
Jet engine fan.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, no.
But it was a good weekend. Thank you again for helping me with money, talking to Rossi for me, and getting the Airbnb together. And then we organized the ice, which we'll do again. So if you want to be a part of it, you got to start listening. And if you say, hey, I'd like to be a part of the next skate, we will pop quiz you. See if you actually listen to the Dump and Skate podcast if you want to be a part of the skate. There will be a pop quiz.
You'll also have to go through a personality test. If you can't spend 48 hours chained to Abdu, probably not going to pass the personality test.
We are going to do a sweat gland test too, so the jerseys don't get ruined either. Like
we're going to start handing out jerseys with the bibs like they give you when you go eat a bunch of crabs and lobsters.
Lobster bibs. No, this is your initiation. You guys got to go run like 2 miles in this heat, but you have to wear a maxi pad with wings for the extension. And if there's any brown or any stains on the maxi pad, if there's any stains on it, you're gone, or you buy your own jersey.
I might not be playing next trip if that's the case. Oh man, so it was a fun trip though. It was a lot of fun.
It always is with these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Sarah, way to make the podcast.
You can't hear anything. So we're really excited about the upcoming trip to Chicago. Really excited about that tournament, getting closer and closer. Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start rounding that group of guys into shape and getting everything rolling there. So
Can't wait for everyone to make it.
A handful of the guys are heading up to Atlantic City this coming weekend. One of them's going without a pair of gloves and helmet just because he's got poor timing. But the guys are going up to Atlantic City. Going to be a lot of fun for those guys. We're excited to hear the stories. I hope they remember most of them. They may not. I just hope they're.
I'll turn around to get it. I'll turn around to get it for you.
Not.
And then I'll honk my horn and scare the crap out of you while you throw the keys under the car. Moron.
What a spaz.
Oh, and he screamed. He even screamed. He didn't do that. He's like, ah, like that. He squeaked. I'll throw a picture on there too.
Oh my gosh.
I'll throw the picture on there.
So, good weekend, a lot of fun.
Always
excited
is.
to do it
Always
again.
is.
Yeah, we might try to get together. My buddy Greg that came down and skated with us said that they've got some teams down there that would be happy to skate with us.
Greg,
over
the quiet ethnicity guy. Gotcha. I was aware of that one. I was letting you know that he's quiet. He's quiet.
Glad you clarified who he was there. Greg said he could throw some teams together, and or at least one team together. We might run back down and do another weekend skate like that. It was a lot of fun, and just see how that goes. So we're excited. Should be a good time. So yeah, sorry we haven't shot a pod in a little while. Glad to get back on here and do one. We got some content and stuff. We'll try to shoot a few more.
Let's do another one this week.
Appreciate you.
Let's do another one this week.
Appreciate you guys listening. We're gonna.
We got shirts coming.
Yeah, we do. So we didn't do a lot of plugs today. We'll get back to some of the norm routine next week. But visit our guys at BNR Sports. Support the guys at Whiskey Wax. We do have some merch coming. We're going to get pushed out there. We've got some shirts coming. Abdi's been working with a vendor. Got a good deal. We're going to be pumping that vendor here pretty soon as well. And so we know you guys are listening. We know you guys want to support us. We're trying to work out a good deal where we're not asking you for $50 a shirt because that's just not cool. We don't want to do that to you guys. We appreciate
$49.99.
$49.99. Penny counts. So, but
we get a limited edition three-peat shirt if you'd like.
If you do want a three-peat,
limited edition.
I don't want to put. I feel like I want to put a picture, but I love Pete, so I don't want to put a picture up. So, anyways, that was a good one too. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna have some.
You want a limited edition? They're expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some merch coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. We're gonna do some pre-order stuff on that thing, so you guys can reach out to us and let us know if you want to get one. We get those things rolling. So
yeah, they're not like the other shirts that we did. I actually met with somebody last week.
Don't do it.
All right.
We're working with a vendor. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good shirts. You're gonna really like them. So if you've bought shirts from us in the past, you may want to repurchase these because we've got a vendor that's gonna do. We're working with a vendor now instead of trying to do some stuff on our own. So going to be good, high quality stuff. We're excited about that and excited about getting that stuff out to you guys. So, but we'll see you guys very, very soon on the next podcast. So thanks for listening. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
You
Peace.
Cha-cha-cha-chia.